everybody. This is Michelle.
And this is Julie. And we are here today in this living room with the air conditioning on.
Is it? Is it on?
It was. I turned it off because it was getting so cold.
Ooh, his mom's kind of hot.
Well, I know. Drop it like it's hot, baby. Anyway, we have a lovely topic today. But before we get to that, how was your weekend, Michelle?
My weekend was, I don't even remember anymore.
You spent time with your sisters today.
I did spend time with today. I guess that's still the weekend. My sister's here visiting from New York.
Yay.
So there's 5 of us. 4 of us were here and got together, had a nice lunch out on the lanai. I learned today that that's a deck. It's a fancy way of saying a deck.
You're having lunch al fresco.
I guess. Yeah. So that's what we did. It was a good time.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we have a special guest with us today, and she's probably had a busy weekend too. We know she had a busy weekend because we saw her last night.
Yep.
We had a meeting in the ladies' room, aka the deck.
That's where all the spee gets spilt.
All the tea gets spilt on the deck.
Yeah.
Well, please welcome our dear friend Eileen, who we have mentioned in many a podcast and has also been a guest at one point on our dating podcast, which is way back in the beginning when we kind of first started. So I guess it wasn't that long ago, a few months back. Hi, Eileen.
Hi.
How
Happy
are
weekend.
You? Happy weekend. Yes. Well, we're getting ready to start a new week here. And before we do, we want to make sure we give you some beauty tips, tricks, and trends from 2 of the women who seem to know everything about skincare and makeup. And
Julie makes us think we do anyways. She makes us feel like we know everything about that stuff.
I've already said this before. I totally bank on that.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like that you bank on it.
I do. I totally bank on it. I'm like, okay, guys, have you ever heard of the drunken elephant? And they're like, she knew exactly. Eileen knew exactly what I was talking about. Someone told me about that brand or whatever. There's so many things out there.
Rick's daughters use it. I'd heard of it. I tried finding it, but it was nowhere to be found.
You mean your sweetheart?
My sweetheart.
Yeah, your sweetheart whose episode is now live.
Yeah.
I know. I'm excited. People really know he exists.
I know.
I always learn a little something from him too.
I know. He's such a good guy. And today is his birthday.
Yes,
so
it is.
Lots going on over in Michelle's household. So anyway, I am going to kind of hand this over to these 2 ladies because, like I said, this is kind of their jam. And we've got some great information for you on, like I said, beauty tips, tricks, and then maybe a little bit on trends, but really we're going to focus more on the basics of, what you can do with your skin, especially as you age. There's so many different things. And Michelle is kind of an expert at all of these because she's so good with her routine, as is Eileen. And they both look amazingly beautiful without makeup, and nobody gets to see them too much, I guess. I do.
Without makeup?
They get to see me without makeup all the time because I just don't make as much effort as they do.
Well, and here's the thing too. You don't always have to have a full face. We're going to talk about some of that because, there's some different looks that you can do time dependent, where you're going, stuff like that. So, but the beauty industry is, it's
crazy.
It's a thing.
Crazy money.
Yeah.
I can't believe when we were looking this over in the statistics and everything about how much revenue is generated. Didn't you say it was something like $100 billion in revenue?
$100 billion worldwide.
And that's just in a year. That's just an annual number.
And advertising last year, $7.7 billion spent
Holy
on advertising. Crap. And if you think about it, like most of it now, I think, Eileen, wouldn't you say most of it now is social media driven?
Yeah, I think the social platforms have been the best way for all beauty connoisseurs to reach new heights.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody's looking, because you were saying when we were talking about this in preparation, you mentioned that a lot of the advertising dollars are funneled now through like TikTok and Instagram and places like that, because that's where people are really seeing them.
Yeah.
So the one thing too, just on a side note, I'm the statistics girl because I don't have all the expert stuff that they have. But I was kind of really interested to learn that men's personal care has really skyrocketed as well. Like you're seeing more products out there for men and for skincare. And a lot of the time I don't ever remember really having discussions about that, So
I think now men are more aware.
Yeah.
And if you think about a lot of the things that we've talked about in other episodes with social media and all of the things in regard to appearance,
yes,
the filters, all that stuff, like how we look is so much more prevalent and probably on the forefront of men. Would you agree? Like they've become more educated. I don't know about educated. I don't know if I should use that word, but more aware of, what
savvy.
they need to do. Yeah, savvy. That's a good word too.
Well, it's funny because my two daughters, one 25, one almost 16 tomorrow. Well, the 16-year-old has a little boyfriend and he goes to them for skincare advice. I saw them on FaceTime and he was trying out some products that they had gotten for him. So he uses this new serum. He had acne. And so he was getting all the consults. They bought him a cleanser. They even bought him shampoo and conditioner. And I think that he goes to them because they give him honest feedback. And so clearly, I mean, he's a young kid. He has a mom, he has sisters, but he has this trust in them, probably because he's seen how many products they use.
He knows what their mom does.
And so I would say, "Hey, Miguel, what's up?" I said, how's the serum working? He's like, "Good, I like it." I was like, "All right, dude."
Is he using night repair?
Yeah.
I told you yesterday.
On acne medication, and he started using night repair.
That's awesome. I mean, really.
I'm telling you, my 90-year-old, almost 90-year-old mother is using night repair. I told you yesterday, I want to bathe in night repair. I love that stuff.
Wait, can we just talk about that statistic that you shared? Advanced Night Repair from Estee Lauder was the very first serum on the market.
Yeah.
Is that right?
1982, changed skincare into skin repair.
I love that.
I know, right? Okay. And so it's evolved with evolution of time, 5 different times.
Yeah.
I know for me, like when I first started working in the beauty industry, I met Michelle there, by the way. That was the one thing people told me to never stop using. Yeah. Almost like insurance for my skin. And I'll tell you, like, I'm so glad that I kept using it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Don't forget your neck." And I was like, I'm just going to take it all the way down.
All the way
wherever
down.
it needs to go. I'm just going to drop it. But you know,
just bathe in it.
I think everybody has something like that or knows someone who has like a tried and true product that they like absolutely would never give up.
Yep.
Like, they say that desert island product, that for me would be like something I'll never.
Didn't you say the desert island product for your daughters is Pond's?
Well, we were chatting like they love to remove their makeup. Like I'm always moving the jar from the sink to over to the spot on the bathtub, and I'm like, these girls, they love it, and I'm not trying to change them. They just got their own jar and they do their thing in the sink, whatever. But I think it's great. I think that they have a routine. I mean, especially as as young as 16. I mean, my granddaughter is 6 and knows how to put the creams on, and she stands in the mirror and she puts it on too. So we're already establishing
that's
that.
Like my granddaughter, when she comes over, she sits at my vanity. She's not not so much the skincare, but man, all those cosmetics.
Oh yeah,
it's going on.
It's going on.
But so with that, tips, tricks, trends are the things we're talking about. We're going to kind of wrap it all up together through categories as we go through this. So the first one, and I think the most important truly, is taking care of your skin. And I mean, because you only got one face with that skin on it. So how you take care of it is super important. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a basic routine and consistency with a basic routine, for those of you that like, there's going to be a lot of information that we share. It doesn't mean that you have to take all of it in. There's a lot of basics that you can do. If you're somebody that maybe doesn't take their makeup off at night or just washes their face once a day, whatever it is, just listen to the information that we're going to share. Maybe take a tidbit here and there, something you can incorporate to get more consistent if you're not happy with the outcome that you currently are getting, And
would you say that the products out there there's such a wide variety of products that there's a lot of, I almost use the word misnomers, but there's a lot of talk, I should say, that these really expensive products like La Prairie or things like that are going to work better than ones that are more mid-range. So I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, because the amount of money, as we can see, is being made in this industry. Can you get some of these products that are just bottom shelf or top shelf product, or however you look at it, in a grocery store, or can you get them at a pharmacy? I mean, I don't know, from a cleanser or what have you, do they have to go get these really expensive expensive things.
I mean, outside of that, they don't have to. They can go and learn about, there's so many products on the market and there's so much you can do that can really confuse you if you start to overthink it, if you're getting too much information. That's why I just like to stick with the basics, and you can do your own research on so many products. So knock yourselves out if you want to do that. If you're not cleansing, toning, and moisturizing every night and every morning, truly, that's something you might want to think about doing if you're not happy with your current outcome. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. I'm not, it's like if you're not happy with it and you haven't really done anything to change it, try something new. Cleanser, toner, moisturizer. And it's going to depend on what kind of skin type you are as to what you should be using. I know Eileen and I are polar opposites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm totally a student of the game for the oily skin gals.
Yeah.
I was an acne sufferer. I suffered with acne and eczema on my face until I was like about 21. So I went to a dermatologist. So I couldn't play and experiment. And so I think now going and approaching the 50-year mark, like I've been able to try so many things, and I'm blessed to work in the industry where our company supports us, really being a student of the game and learning about product, trying it out, knowing the points of difference, and being able to be versed in that arena. So what I've learned too is that every night and every day you can make a little difference in anything that you do. And that, to me, I try to be religious too. Like I'm very oily, so I'm always going to wash my face. I'm always going to wash it, whether it's the right cleanser or not. I kind of go back and forth because I have an obsession with trying new products. Even if I'm not finished with something, like I'm going to try it.
I do that too.
Bad.
I do the same thing.
Like it's not used or maybe used twice and I throw it in there and I'm like, oh. It's a full one.
Every time Rick is visiting, he looks at my shower and all the products, or my cupboard and all the products, and he's just like,
right.
Like you need all those. I'm the same way. So I have dry skin. Like I said, total opposite of, what's your skin type, Jules? Do you know?
I would say it's more kind of, I would dry.
Dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dry.
So I'm dry, and I wash my face every night, every morning. And there's back and forth on, we were talking about this last night, because I use a balm. I use a face balm to remove my makeup and an eye makeup remover. Mm-hmm. And then I also cleanse my face.
She's at a double cleansing moment.
I'm a double cleanser.
Very trending.
So and Julie was like, do you have to do that? You don't have to.
I just have the balm. I mean,
and you don't have to, but I do. And then, it's funny because I was taking a shower this morning and I was washing my hair. How many times? Am I the only one that washes my hair twice?
2 times.
Okay. 2 times.
Yes.
So washing your face 2 times is like, it might sound weird, but it's not. We wash our hair twice, right?
Yeah. First step is to use an oil base to remove dirt, oil, debris, and then to break it up a little bit. And then the second step is to really purify and balance the skin,
mm-hmm.
and prepare it for the other products.
Yep. So, and that's where the toner comes in. I always have been, and I'm a big proponent of using a toner. I like to think of it as the rinse cycle for your face. I would always tell people that. I'm like, well, your dishwasher has a rinse cycle. Your clothes washer has a rinse cycle. So if you let the water dry on a glass shower wall, what does it look like when the water dries? You see residue all over it. So after you're done cleansing your face, because you rinse it with water, you want to clean and purify and get all of that off, because next, you're going to want to use, basic next would be a moisturizer, but there's a serum step that you can add in, which would come after the toner, because when you're using that toner, it prepares your skin to be able to activate and absorb and get more benefit from what you're going to put on your skin next. Right?
It's so funny because I never toned.
Yeah.
But a year and a half ago, I met this gal and she's like, I'm going to change your life. And she worked for another brand. And I was like, all right, I'll try your little thing that you have here. And so I did, and it was clarifying lotion. It was a liquid exfoliant because I'm oily. And sure enough,
you noticed
I have been
a difference.
using it since. And I saw her after, I go, guess what? You were right. But I was open to,
trying something.
Obviously, I think you learn a lot from your friends because you have this trust. And I think that's the deception is you think you're going to be sold all these products. So what you're saying, Michelle, cleansing and toning are probably the cheapest of all steps.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And you use them more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So morning and night, just like you would shampoo.
Yeah.
And so I too started that step of liquid exfoliation, which kind of feels like a toner step.
Yeah. Yeah. There's different ones out there, but so basic would be cleanse, tone, and then moisturize after that toner.
Do you like to put this, I know you're going to talk serums, but do you like to put the serum on before you put the moisturizer or after? Before?
Yeah, the serum. So that's what I mean. Well, like the basic would be cleanse, tone, moisturize. So like right now, if you're just like wiping your face at night with a makeup wipe and you want to, if you're not really happy with how your skin's looking, this is what you're going to want to try consistently: a cleanser, a toner, and a moisturizer. To enhance that would be adding a serum.
Okay.
But a serum and an eye cream, depending on what your concerns are. Typically, concerns are going to be, for serums anyways, there's going to be brightening serums,
hydrating,
pore minimizing, wrinkle
Lines,
reducing,
wrinkles.
yeah, that kind of stuff. And then for eyes, it's going to be reducing puffiness and dark circles, typically,
and lines and wrinkles.
Yeah. I lean over there. And lines and wrinkles,
and lines and wrinkles,
and lines and wrinkles. I mean, that's typically what the biggest concern is for most women.
Those lines and wrinkles mean you've lived your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Without sunscreen.
It's been
I had a good time while I was getting them. So serums, it's kind of interesting because moisturizers have great benefits, multi-benefits, anti-aging, but serums really work from the bottom up in the skin so that you can think of them as activating all of those great things that help fight those things, collagen, elastin building. So when you put them on, they're going to work from the bottom up, whereas a moisturizer is going to work from the top down.
Yeah.
And that's what you feel on the surface. That's really helping strengthen that moisture barrier, the roof on your skin, as we call it. So the two together really give you, it's really like the dynamic duo because they're working synergistically together.
Yeah. I love that word, synergistically. I liked using that.
So serums you can use to target a concern.
Yeah.
Maybe that your moisturizer is not addressing, or, if you want to use something that you want just like a boost to your skin. I feel like that's a great way to boost something in your routine that's already working well for you without taking you into a whole new territory,
right?
Where you're worried about like, what if I break out, or what if, I get irritated. This is also for me, like I am obsessed with retinol. I love it.
I've never tried retinol.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't.
I'm
That's
obsessed.
the drunken elephant. That's what it was, retinol.
Well, there's so many different versions of retinol, and they're very aggressive on the skin. So you want to acclimate your skin. But I started acclimating my skin and I noticed, I'm oily, right? So it's done like little bits at a time. But it really addressed, like for me, smoothness, lines and wrinkles, that oil production. I mean, I saw some big changes. So some serums may have retinol in them. Some may have it on its own. So you got to find a couple pieces that work for you without overdoing it. But with retinol, you got to really, it's like for serious skincare, because you got to really be in tune with your skin. Right. Because the minute you get irritated, you're going to freak out.
Yeah.
And that's when you know it's working.
Yep.
And you're like, what the heck? I'm red, raw, and itchy and flaky. What the heck?
Yeah.
This is not cute.
Do you guys use more than one serum, or do you know if people use, how many serums do you use, Eileen?
Well, lots of people use an upwards of like, say, 8 to 10 step in their makeup bag cosmetic routine as far as skincare. I mean,
not serums, steps.
Okay, steps.
Yeah.
So serums, I feel like it's a personal choice. Some have many. I use about 2 right now, actually.
I use 2 different serums, but I use a vitamin C serum in the morning and I use advanced night repair at night.
Okay.
So, and
not at the same time then. That was what I was
I
curious
use
about.
them at the same time.
But you can. Yeah, you totally can. I'm not saying I never have, but that's just kind of how I do.
The tip with the serum is you go by texture. So the lighter the texture is always the first one down. And then you want to layer your heavier ones over the top.
Yeah.
So if you're like using 2, that's always a good rule of thumb.
Oh, that's good to know.
With that, always remember to include your neck or décolleté.
Your décolleté.
Because I've heard that women, one of the first places they start aging is in their neck. So, and when you do that, you're going to want to start from the base of your neck and smooth that serum or moisturizer up towards your chin. So start at the base, smooth it upwards. I'm sitting here doing the motions as I'm talking about it.
Well, there's a thing called tech neck. So no matter what your age is, who you are, we're all staring at phones. And that neck area is
I've never heard that.
Tech neck. It's a thing. The lines on the neck are more prevalent even in any age. Just because you're looking at your phone and you're looking down. So to your point,
those damn phones, man, they're creating more problems.
Tech neck.
Wow. That's something. I mean, maybe it's not new. That's new to me. That's the first time I've heard, but that makes total sense.
Yeah. So your advice of taking your skincare down to your décolleté is perfect and right on trend.
I like it.
Yeah. And then like this whole lymphatic drainage. So when you are doing that, is to really like finish by, actually you would go an upward motion towards your chin to lift. But then when you're finishing, you want to release the pressure and kind of go out towards your collarbone to finish, because it helps drain that drainage and inflammation that
there's a lot of tools out there for that. I've never used one. I've seen them though. A friend of mine had one that I tried, and it wasn't a roll. They do have the rolly ones. This was just some quartz flat that had, a divot in it so that it could go along your jawline for that lymphatic drainage. Do you feel like that is helpful using a tool? And I'm just curious, based on I'm not saying it's like you have to or you don't have to, but do you feel like it's helpful?
I love the roller. I have a roller that I use, and I see a difference because it grips and sculpts the cheek area, and it really does help to roll. I wish I would have brought it.
Yeah.
Not only does it feel good, but it does the work for you. So for someone who doesn't like to do that massaging with the hands on your own face, the roller kind of does a lot of that motion. But you can think about it's like exercising your face too.
I want a roller.
Yeah. So it's giving you that little bit of extra, movement in your facial muscles. So if you do one side, it's kind of training it to, sculpt and lift against your cheekbones. So
when do you do that?
I think it's a preference. Some people want that look during the day. Like maybe you're going to an event, you have a good day at work, you want to look a little bit more glowy and lifted, but also at night too. That could be the extra pampering treat for self-care. So I think, there's not
like
a lot
after
of
your moisturizer.
Yeah, I would put my moisturizer and use that slip so that I could feel that after the moisturizer.
I want a tool now.
Yeah, there's so many different ones. You know, like right now there's like micro needling. I've seen things that really help with pores and sucking out all that great stuff. I mean, it's almost like buying curling irons and hair dryers and all that stuff. You can just you can get a tool for pretty much anything.
Kinds, yeah.
So I think I love the roller just because it's easy and it's kind of a good starting tool if you were to do it. They also have them for the eye area too, which feels amazing. And again, helps with microcirculation under the eyes because your eyes are, the thinnest. And I'm sure that's like the next step Michelle's going to talk about after moisturizer.
Yeah.
The eye area can be addressed very differently than the rest of the skin. I always think of skin this way. You've got your face that's kind of like paper. Your eyes are like tissue paper, so very thin. And then your body's kind of like construction paper.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's great.
So like the textures that you're using, if you try to use what you're using on construction paper up on the tissue paper, it's never going to penetrate. It's just going to sit on top.
Yeah.
And so that's why each product's kind of designed. That's why you have a body cream, you have a face cream, and you have an eye cream. And on top of that, each of those areas is more, eyes are more sensitive than the face. Usually all eye creams are fragrance free and have ophthalmologist testing for the eye area.
So you can't just use Lubriderm everywhere?
People
like
will.
Your face, your body?
They will. But it will do something.
Right.
But if you're wondering like, well, why do I need an eye cream? They're designed and tested for that area so that they penetrate better.
And with your eye cream application, you should always use your ring finger because your ring finger is your weakest finger. You don't want to rub, pull, or tug. You want to pat that eye cream around the orbital bone around your eye.
And I was taught your skin is energized. It's energy. So before you apply anything, even if you're going to use your ring finger, you want to activate it in your hands and then apply it to the face. You probably see a ton of things on like TikTok where they like, do the flower application. They put cream on each point of the face, which really you want to activate it. So it's like energizing the cream to energize your face.
This is so interesting. I'm coming to realize so many comparisons because I do that with the line of products I use for my hair. I do the same thing. I put it in and I activate it in my hands first, and then I massage it into my scalp and into my hair, and it works way better.
Right.
So
just to get the most out of what you're doing. The other thing too is like, just because it's more expensive doesn't mean it's going to last longer.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And just because it's expensive doesn't mean that you're going to get the results that you're looking for. Sometimes trial and error too is finding the right, ingredients and product that you like. The scent can be just a game changer.
Yep.
You either love it or you don't.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Mm-hmm. So let's just count them, because you brought up a number of steps. So right now, when I think about what I do, I use my eye makeup remover to remove my makeup. There's one, I use the balm to loosen and get the makeup off my face, and then I cleanse. So there's 3. And then I use a toner. That's 4. I use a serum, 5. Moisturizer, 6, and an eye cream or eye balm. That's 7 right there. And then I do exfoliate a couple times a week because I have dry skin. Is that the same for oily skin, Eileen? Would you say? As far as exfoliation, like an actual exfoliator?
Yeah, I think a granule exfoliator, something you manually do 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, that's it.
The skin, it sheds every about 28 days roughly. Some may have less or more. So it's turning over. So you want to remove the dead skin cells. And I always get them like around my nose, because I'm oilier. So you want to keep that shedding, at a nice
sometimes
normal pace.
People think that the moisturizer is going to take, oh, look at how dry my skin is. I need to put on all this moisturizer. And, you're just going to move that all over your face. So you really have to use a granulated exfoliant to remove that. They have some too that are like microderm type that warm up when you use them as well. So there's a lot of different exfoliators out there. And then I like to use a mask at least once a week, if not twice.
I love a
2
good
or 3
sheet
times.
mask.
Yeah, sheet masks are great. You can really get them at so many places now. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't really know a lot of, I just go by what they say, brightening, hydrating, gold shimmer. They like have all these really funky, cool
we did one when we were in Arizona. It was like a really intense one. Was that a night repair one?
Yeah, we did the night repair mask. So it was like foil
get
on
all the
side.
juice out of the inside and make sure you put the juice on your hands. And, oh my God, that was so awesome.
I do that too. I save that. I get every bit drop that is in in a mask package.
I just bought the Dr. Jart ones, or like the rubbery ones that look, it's a great Instagram. But they have some really cool ones, and then they have some really cheap ones. Like I love going to Ulta, like right when you check out. I think I got one for $3.50. It was like some shea mask, or if you want to go crazy and have like a unicorn on your face, there's some there's some fun ones like that you have a good fun girl time with or whatever. But
yeah. I do homemade masks too. I don't know. Avocado. I do avocado a lot. I use smashed avocado. I add a little bit of coconut oil, honey, sometimes even turmeric. Lemon juice helps to brighten the skin. There's a whole lot of different organic, just like stuff. If the avocado has turned and I'm not going to use it on toast, I'll use it on my face, and it really hydrates and brightens it. It feels really good.
Masks are good.
Yeah.
So it's like once a week ish. Is that what you do? Once a week a mask?
Yeah, at least. That's typically what I'll have time for, and I usually will do that on the weekend when I can just keep it on longer than really I need to, and just relax and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm oily, so I love a good charcoal mask or a clay mask. Kind of tightens and helps to like pull all the impurities out. Just like Julie knows, I love these like Lush charcoal pills that they're kind of like oil, I guess oil pulling ish in that lane, but they're for your teeth. So it's like a little toothpaste wrapped with the charcoal, helps to really pull the impurities out of your mouth. Yeah, but same thing with the skin. So I love a good charcoal mask. It tightens and it feels like it's pulling everything out. My skin feels super clean. And then I just follow with then into my serums once I remove it, and my moisturizer.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Cleanse, I'll use a mask after I tone. Yep.
And then do the other steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you learning anything, Jules?
I am. I'm just soaking it all in. I'm absorbing it, just like my skin.
Just like your skin will with that mask you use.
Well, it's funny because we're talking about like the exfoliator, and it's like, I don't have one. So that's where I'm like,
Have you ever thought to use one?
It just never even occurred to me. But maybe that's where the dullness is coming from that I was mentioning. Yeah. So I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Do you have a pretty consistent routine that you do?
I do now.
Yeah.
My cleansing and toning and moisturizing, and then my serum. But
I'm such a good influence.
You are, but I was doing them backward. So I'm learning something today.
Backwards? What do you mean?
Backward. I was doing the moisturizer, then the serum, not the serum and then the moisturizer.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the difference, but
maybe you will.
Maybe I will.
Can I tell you my one secret that I do when I get a pimple?
Yes.
It's really funny and it works.
You pop it.
No. Well, I try to, get it down to like where it's going to be healing.
Right.
I take white Colgate toothpaste and
I heard
sleep
that
on it
works,
and like put it on there and just sleep on it overnight and then wake up the next day and it literally pulls all the redness out and inflammation. And the girls like laugh at me when I wake up with my 1 or 2 spots that have like the Colgate crusted over, but it has to be white Colgate. And so
you heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
but that's what I do. If I get one, then I just like,
it must have an ingredient. I remember my sister who had acne way back in the day. She used this white, it was a liquid though, specifically for acne that she would just pinpoint and put that liquid. Same thing. She'd have white dots all over her face where she was treating the acne. So
have you guys ever heard, I remember someone telling me, and her skin actually looked beautiful, but she had used like preparation H or something on her.
For puffiness.
Yeah. And it was glowy and stuff. And I'm like, she goes, oh yeah, girl, get this preparation. I was like, you want to put like butt cream on your face? I don't know. I wasn't sure how I felt about that.
I've heard that models use it that because they're such a rigid and the schedule that they have and the puffiness around the eyes. I've heard that preparation H because that's what it targets.
Yeah.
It helps with puffiness.
Well, I think now like those, the eye patches you can get, there's so many varying ones. They can get reusable ones or ones that help.
Oh my gosh. I love those.
I know.
I love
There's a bunch of eye patches that you can try.
Shiseidos
and then with tools, I think now that might have been an oldie but a goodie, but I think there's so many tools that help with that these days that people have moved on.
They've moved on from hemorrhoid cream or whatever.
Yeah, they might still use it.
That's true. Yeah. We're not telling you to use preparation H on your eyes, people.
Yeah.
Just keep it where it needs to be.
It was just an old thing someone did. And I was like, wow.
But yeah, the eye masks. That's, Shiseido has
like a face mask
really good one.
mask.
Yep. I love them. Oh, there's all this stuff I want to do now that I don't. I mean, I do like plenty of the consistent stuff, but
I think you should use a routine for at least try to get a full month of some type of consistency. You might fall off 1 week or another. I feel like it's just like working out. Like you truly can't see the results, and you should take a picture of your skin for yourself to kind of mark the moment, because you do see yourself all the time and you don't notice the changes that are going on.
So true.
You know, give yourself at least 4 weeks, trying to do that system.
Into what you were saying before is because it takes about that long for your skin to move through the layers, to shed itself.
28 days.
Yeah. Ish. So really when you do start something, it's going to take that long really to see the results.
Most products, when you buy them full size, they're usually a 1.7 ounce, which is about a 3-month supply if you're using it correctly. It doesn't matter what cream it is from the high end to the low end. If it's about a 1.7 ounce, it's about a 3-month supply. If you're using about a pea size amount, maybe a touch more, depends how much surface moisture you like in your skin. I'm thinking about a moisturizer. So any 1.7 ounce cream is about a 3-month supply, and like a 1 ounce is in about a month and a half. So if you know you're going to make a purchase, thinking about trial sizes and things like that, you want to at least get a 1 ounce so that you can experience, the full effects. Yeah. And then I feel like just like shampoo and moisturizer, cleansing and toning, like I go through more of my clarifying lotion than I thought I did.
Yeah.
Because now I'm using it morning and night, and I love the feel, and I notice the difference. And that's actually a liquid exfoliator is what I was told. I'm not as versed in that product in the line.
I've heard of those,
but it's like a chemical exfoliant versus a gritty manual exfoliant. So you can get that exfoliation in different ways.
Right.
Some products have like glycolic that really works on the surface too, to help with that smoothness and evening out that top layer as you're looking for different things. But I really think you should give it a month. I think that you should look for, if you're going to purchase, look for something that you can really like get the full use out of. And so many brands are so good about like, if you didn't love it, bring it back.
Yeah.
And have a discussion with someone, but you can also read the reviews. I mean, if you haven't been on TikTok, you should go to Skin Talk and search up quite a few things. I think TikTok is famous for having like dermatologists, and you get lost in the sauce. Yeah. There's so many things. So either have someone you trust that you can ask the questions, read some of the reviews and know a few things, and then give it a shot.
Back to what you were saying too, the pea size amount. Okay, so this last
organic
time,
pea.
Well, no, I used that cleansing balm to remove my makeup, right? And I'm down to the last little bit. So, and I'm really trying to stretch it out. Okay, so I started using a smaller amount than I usually do, and I'm like, okay, why am I using so much more than what I am now? Because this little minuscule amount that I've been using, trying to stretch it out, is removing my makeup just fine. So it's true. You think, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. Still, I was using more than really what I needed to. So it's true when you say that 1.7 ounce is going to last you about 3 months when it comes. Same with the moisturizer. I have scaled back and started using less than what I normally do because you really don't need to slather it all over.
I think some people love the physical hydration and to feel it on the surface, and others don't.
Yeah.
So that's where you get into the overuse of products, which actually can can trigger some some aging in the skin. So overuse of products can cause irritation and breakouts because your skin is kind of out of sync with everything, and it needs to be like a simple routine, and that's where you'll see that nice healthy skin. So
consistent, simple routine. I like it.
You know what? I always think like your skin is a large organ, right? So you also want to like do the other things like drink a lot of water, you know, and
eat well, sleep.
Yeah, all that stuff plays into your skin and what it looks like. It's not just the outside and what you're putting on it. That's what I believe. I mean,
if you want to, if you want to smoke a pack a day, knock yourself out. But if you're not happy with the way your skin looks and all those, wrinkle marks around your mouth, you might want to consider some lifestyle changes. Just saying. I mean, with the water intake, everything that you all were just saying is so true. You know?
I could be better about that.
Yeah. I mean, we all can.
We all can.
Yeah, but I started taking, I think, vitamin. My mom was always a fan of vitamins. She always put her cream on. I think back and I saw her doing all this stuff. And I take vitamins, pretty regularly. I feel like there's no way I can get it from my food. There's also I'm exposed to more in the environment that I ever was before with all this, you cannot hide from this pollution. And pollution's not the only thing. All this stress we're under. I mean, we're coming out of a pandemic. We're getting ourselves back out there into the regular grind that we lived. Your skin is going to is going to see the effects.
Yeah.
So I think as much as you're massaging and taking all this good self-care, you got to know the inside, it's going to affect the outside. So I always think in a kind of a holistic approach too, because there's so many things out there. Right now, people are doing, Botox, and they're, microblading, and they're getting their lashes done and their lips done and implants. And I don't know, I was telling Julie this thing, she got freaked out where this gal put the string in there inside her skin and it lifts the skin. I don't know if the string just appears, but so many people want that instant fix. But the long term is, what are the effects after those procedures wear off? Yeah. You're back, right? Do you have other things that are now surfacing that because you tackled the one?
You know what?
I always think about that. Well, I think one of the trends right now too, eyebrows are so big, and you guys know, I got mine microbladed. I wasn't blessed with any brow. It was nothing.
So can you just snippet explain the microblading so people know?
Microblading is actually not even a tattoo. It's little strokes that they actually put ink into the eyebrow. So it needs to be touched up. So it's kind of a tattoo, but it's not. Where a tattoo is a needle doing ink. This is a slice and ink added to look like hair.
So you're slicing the skin.
Yeah.
Just very slightly slicing.
Yeah.
Slightly slicing. And
so
adding ink.
I think it made a huge difference. So when you think about, your skin and eyebrows don't really, they go on and off if you were me, and it was such a hassle. But having brows and a nice lip color and a little touch on your eyes can make a beautiful complexion.
Yeah.
Right.
You need a lot of makeup. Less is more. But for me, that trend is so out there, and the laminated brow, with skin, having great brows is easy. And I think the lash is kind of plain that people just don't want to wear a lot of makeup, but it sure looks great. But it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. The lashes, that's a whole nother thing.
Well, that's a great segue into what I was going to bring up next. And that's just once you're done with that skincare, so the morning routine, you're getting your face ready. It's like having a clean canvas. The palette is ready to apply what is coming next. So there's a lot of options and a lot of things. I think there's definitely steps that help with the outcome and how you're doing it. But I just kind of was thinking in my head, what I do is the foundation, not even the makeup actually, but getting your face ready for all the other stuff. So after I do my skincare routine, then I do use concealer for dark spots because I have some dark spots on my face. And then I use the foundation. I use the mixture of a foundation and a BB cream together.
What does BB stand for?
Beauty
Beauty
Benefit
Balm.
or Beauty Balm.
Yeah,
Beauty Balm.
Beauty Benefit Beauty Balm CC cream is color corrector. So if you didn't know that, now you know.
So can I give 2 tips?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make your own BB cream.
Yes.
So you could take the moisturizer that you love and you could take a couple of drops of loose powder and tint your moisturizer. So if you have like a powder that you use for finishing, that's perfect. Or you can mix your concealer if you're that's all you were like. I'm using what Michelle's using as an example, just to mix a touch of that and mix your moisturizer with it, and it'll be very, very sheer. So if you're not a foundation lover, that's a great way to get more
nice
use
and
out
light.
of
I like that.
your other 2 products that you might have.
So just obviously you're going to do that first. That's why it's called foundation. You're putting your foundation on your face. And then I do use a setting powder. I think it's preference on what you're going to do, whether it's loose or pressed. It doesn't really matter what the difference is. I think it's just a preference.
Because you could brush a compact. See, now I use a primer. I just love using a primer because it kind of sets the stage for me.
I do use a primer. I didn't say that, but I do use a primer. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of dabble in all kinds of different primers.
Yeah.
Well, I just got that one that you had mentioned that and I love it.
I know.
Yeah,
Which
it
one
feels
is
really.
that?
It's an Estee Lauder one. Futurist.
Oh,
yeah.
Futurist.
Yeah.
Hydra Glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watery glow.
I
glow.
know. Yeah.
Here I am trying a like ordinary primer, just like a basic silicone primer.
Yeah.
I only bought it because it was $6.90.
I have one of those too.
I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
I do.
And then Too Faced mixed one that smells like peaches. It was so good. It's like the hangover primer. Anyways, I've tried that. I like that.
I have that one too.
Yeah. And then I tried the Morphe had a primer because I'm really oily and it was supposed to control oil, but I haven't found the one. I'm just trying
Still
them all
searching
out.
on the primer. Yeah.
Primer's like the thing I play with.
So let me ask you a question. There's always discussion out there around, women our age and foundation. Like, don't have foundation, do have foundation. Be careful. You don't make all your lines look bigger. And do you have any thoughts on that? Because I know there are so many different types of foundation out there. And, I've kind of started to go toward really just very minimal, not a whole lot, just enough to kind of even out my redness or whatever. Do you have any suggestions or thoughts on primer or on foundation itself? Or do you feel like it's just really depends on what someone's preference is?
I want to hear Eileen's answer.
I think it totally depends on the preference and if you like to see your skin through the makeup. I think there's always a moment if you want a more flawless look. So I do think how you want to see the end result and the finish is important. I work out, so I'm about it staying on all day. I'm not going to retouch my makeup. I'm going to go for the whole day. But I do like a more finished look, but I'm okay with like today, I purposely wore barely like anything, but I think it just depends on where you're going. If you want something more flawless, if you want to see skin, but as a more experienced skin, as I call it, usually you don't want it to settle in your expression lines. So dewy, glowy skin allows for that luminosity to look youthful in the skin versus a matte, which is going to look, more flat. There's a trend right now, called cloud skin. Cloud skin is like that perfect balance of a soft matte, but still looking like
dewy.
A little bit of a haze, where the skin looks like it's polished, almost like airbrush. So it's like a perfect balance of slight glow and a soft matte finish. And then there's other trends out there in complexion like glass skin, where it's like super shiny and looks like glass because it's got this sheen to it. And then there is something, believe it or not, I was doing my research called dolphin skin, like literally like the dolphin is coming out of the water and it looks wet. I don't know that that's ever going to be okay for me.
I don't know about
but
that
I think
one.
cloud skin is like a nice balance of a soft matte if you like a more finished look. And then there's those that just want to look natural. They want to see skin shining through, beautiful skin that looks slightly perfected. So I think being able to find
what works.
Yeah, for what occasion.
Well, so you're not necessarily saying if you're 50 years old, you can't wear foundation, because literally I've heard people say that before. Oh, I can't wear that. I've heard people say that too. You shouldn't wear shimmer. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you're older. Like who says,
who are you?
Who says that?
Yeah.
Who says you can't?
Right. Okay.
You know?
I just wanted to put that out there.
Truth be told, as you age, you will have more lines and wrinkles.
Yeah.
Regardless, they're going to be there. You can do a lot of the trendy things. You can do all the nip tuck things, and it might help for a while, but eventually just go online and look at all of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Eventually it takes its toll. So a more mature skin, I think if you use a brush also to apply the foundation, there's different things that will help. And to Eileen's point, the amount that you put on, the texture and type that you put on. I use a blurring powder, which I really like.
Is that like your finishing powder?
I put it on after my foundation.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of what I use to set everything. And then I do bronzing powder after that. I use blush. I use a highlighter. So there's lots of steps. But
okay.
Well, I think beauty blenders really changed the application techniques too, because you could put the foundation on, put the powder on, wet your beauty blender and still adjust the finish. So beauty blenders, those little sponges, you can actually use a regular sponge and just fill it with water and let it kind of puff up and use it to dampen and almost be like your magic eraser. So you can add moisture. I sometimes will put a drop of night repair in mine, and you can just go over the top and kind of soften those areas where you've gotten too much.
It's like that Tula stick I just got.
She's obsessed with that. So like for foundation, for me, you're going to take pictures, or you've got something for work that you want to super polished. I mean, you're definitely going to be wearing more makeup.
Yeah.
Just like they say on your wedding day, you're going to be wearing way more than you thought you would. So I think there are those moments, and that's what people get caught up in, is that same look. That's what they think every day needs to be like. And it doesn't. You could take that same flawless looking makeup and just cut it with a little bit of moisturizer, and there you have it. So if you are wearing foundation, but I think there's so many brands out there that you should go get a free sample, have someone match your skin, how you like it. I myself like it a little bit lighter because my neck is a little bit lighter. I self tan every day almost, living that chasing that sunshine.
Yep.
But I think foundation too, it's going to change based on the seasons.
Yes.
And based on what's going on in your skin. Like Julie was saying, she was kind of on the drier side. Well, as things change, you can't wear the same foundation you wore 5 years ago. And there's so many cool brands out there right now that go get yourself a free 10-day supply, try it, wear it for a few days, see if you love it. There's so many brands that do a free sample.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Cool. Then back to the brows, because I know you microblade, and Julie, I think you are looking to.
Yeah, no, I have done it before. It's been maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just getting it touched up.
It frightens
It hurts.
me.
It hurts like a mother.
So I haven't done that. And I just use an Anastasia brow pencil. I draw them on every day. Every day.
I still touch mine up like a stencil. Like I still fill it in and get the shape right. But the microblading helped to kind of give that stencil so I could just follow with my pencil.
That's one thing I think that surprises people that don't use brow tools. It really does frame your face and finish a look. Just try it out some people just don't do anything, but.
Yeah. And two things, you just want to get the right color.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And brow pencils are different than an eyeliner.
Yeah.
Because they actually coat the hair, whatever hair you have, if you're me, so that it actually, it's more waxy.
Yeah, it is.
So the color is really important. So if you're, a fairer skin or even a blonde in those lighter tones, you definitely want to go just even a shade darker than your natural color. And if you're dark hair, you actually want to go to a shade lighter.
Yep.
So that it doesn't take away and draw from your beautiful dark hair.
Yep.
So that's kind of the rule of thumb. And you can always go darker. So start lighter and work it to where you're comfortable, because brow easily you can look mad with your brows.
Yeah. If you're not careful.
So, gentle, less is more.
This coworker, he always compliments me on my brows. Your brows are so nice, Michelle. He was showing me this picture. He was like, let me just show you why your eyebrows are so refreshing. And he showed me this picture of this woman, and very startling brows, but they're the big, full, but too dark, that kind of thing. So to your point.
Does he have a brow fetish?
I don't know. But just, notice it because he thinks this woman is attractive. I don't know, maybe he likes her something, but the brows was just
like
kind
big,
of a
bushy
thing.
brows. Or...
Well, it's just too dark and too full. And that's when you glance at the picture, that's all you see is the brows.
Yeah.
You don't know to Eileen's point, I guess is why I tell that story, is that it can take away from the rest of the beauty.
I've seen that with like blondes that have black eyebrows, and it's like clearly they are not
dark.
blonde.
Yeah.
It's too dark. Their eyebrows are too dark.
There's tons like laminated brow, and those that brows are their thing. You'll get someone who they have ombre brow.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of trends out there with brows.
Yeah,
there is.
so
yeah.
If you're comfortable with your brows, you may be trying some things, but for a basic, just face framing brow, those are easy to, if you have a lot of shape and you need, I would say get them waxed so that you have something to follow.
Yeah.
And that will make it easier for you. And most places, like you said, Anastasia, they do a great job. That's where I went when I tried to wax whatever was there, but they did do a great job because they shape it towards your bones.
Yeah.
So it'll be right for your eye shape and your brow bones.
What do you think about eyeshadow primer? Do you think a shadow primer or a base is necessary? Me too. I do too.
So when we were in Arizona, we just used the concealer.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, so there's a lot of tricks or tips that you can do with that, because I actually started using, I have an Anastasia pencil that is for highlighting under the brow. I ran out of the base that I was using, and I was like, I'm going to try this. That's the thing too, is I use lip stuff on my cheeks. Because it's lipstick doesn't mean you can only use it on your lips. You can do it else, in other places. It was designed for that, but I started using it. It has a little bit of a shimmer, and I started using that on my lid for my eyeshadow base.
Well, my biggest issue is that eyeshadow creased into this little tiny crease of a line. It drives me nuts.
Yep.
So, and they've gotten less oily, but they're super oily. So I would use a specific lid primer. So Urban Decay makes one that I love. I've been using that one. I can use concealer, but I also have a lot of veins in my eyelids. So then I would use concealer to kind of wash and neutralize the eye area
too.
Yeah, I do love primer just because anything you put on it with crease, it's gotten less.
And it does extend the stay. Extends the stay of the shadow. When you apply that shadow base color, I typically do a lighter all over the lid, and you're going to want to pat it in and not like stroke it. So when you apply that first layer of eyeshadow on your lid, you're going to want to fill your little brush and pat it on. So push it into that primer or concealer, whatever it is you have on your eyelid, and then stroke it, because that will extend the wear.
So primer, absolutely. I like to mix the primer with an eye pencil and make a smoky base. It's like the easiest smoky eye is before it dries. Then you can use your finger and just blend it together. Julie and I were doing it. We did it together on our little trip, but super easy if you just want to do a smokier look. And then you can pop like a shimmer shadow over it, or just leave it. You even bronzer in the crease and you're done. So easy.
I love cosmetics. I mean, there's so much fun stuff you can do. Really, there is. And I don't think there's rules. I mean, there are, but as far as, what you can and can't do, there's just like so much you can do.
Well, Julie always makes fun of me because I always can buy a new eyeshadow. She's like, you need another eyeshadow. I have like so many eyeshadows.
I do too.
It's obsessive, but I have come down to find that in my more experienced years, a neutral shadow seems to be better. I used to wear a rainbow of fun. I could wear green, purple, blue. I would wear all the rainbow.
Back in the day, everything. Eileen had her signature is her look right now is her lips, right?
It wasn't before.
But back in the day, back when she was on MAC, let's just talk about those eyes. Oh my gosh. Man. Yeah. Girlfriend had it going on.
I would wear it. Yeah. I would wear it. But now I don't really like that look.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I would wear. I had every color, every color.
Yeah.
Now she has every color lip liner.
I know. Now I love bright lipstick.
Yeah,
I love it. They're trying to change me though, but I'm working on it. But it's okay.
We're not trying to change you.
I love color on my lips, but on my eyes, I think like having a nice, like if you have green eyes, you can stay in those neutral bronze tones, which are going to keep it more natural. But if you did something with more of a pink tone, it's going to bring out the green. So I think the color theory around the eyeshadow choice can be a great thing if you're trying to experiment without going too crazy with winged eyeliner and all this. Just color selection and these lighter shades that you were saying, Michelle, are an easy way to brighten up the eyes without making you feel like you have all this smokiness and 20 steps. And I really believe in that. So if you have blue eyes using like Michelle, so if you want to use those bronzy tones, which I'm sure you do, it'll make them bluer. Or you can go with like a silver or something darker than her own eye color will make it kind of pop a little bit, but be monochromatic with her eye. And if you have brown eyes, actually navies and like a navy, just a touch in the liner or in the mascara, even emerald will make them pop a little bit more.
I haven't thought about the color schemes for eyes. It's been a while. I mean, I have my routine that I do and that I know, but exactly what you're saying. All of those color tones. I
just switched to kind of like a little touch of a mauve shadow. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how much that like makes a difference in green eyes. So it can be subtle. So that's why I say like, you don't need all the steps and all the colors. Sometimes it's just something really subtle as color selection for your eye color.
Well, I think too, we'll talk about this in a minute. I think there's a 10-minute face. There's a 10-minute face and a 20 to 30 minute. So we can talk about that in a little bit. But what do you think about eyeliner?
Okay, so I only wear eyeliner in the inside of my eye, and here's why: I only wear mascara on the top lashes.
And I do too. I don't put it on my bottom lashes.
So I
never have.
Yeah, I never do. It's too much work and it always runs.
Yeah.
I will maybe wear like a lighter brown eyeliner on the bottom if I just want to, but I don't wear a ton of eyeliner anymore. And it's in the inside of my eye, like the waterline. Anything up above, unless it's like a going out moment, would be way more dramatic now.
Yeah.
But I used to always wear eyeliner because I wanted to see my eyes.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of funny that now less is more. So a lot of mascara and only the top lashes.
Yeah.
And a little bit of eyeliner underneath. And I'll do my mascara first and then the eyeliner.
So I used to love, I still do, Laura Mercier, their cake liner. And do you remember the tight line? Tight line technique. That's when I first started doing that under my lashes. And it's just like a really flat brush that you push that liner into your lash line to make it look like you have a fuller lash line. Or people maybe that have smaller eyes or heavy lids, you don't want to put that liner on the lid. You can put it underneath to help give that eyelash look, you know, that fuller lash look. And there's lots of different eyelining options. I actually have switched to using a dark shadow when I'm lining my eyes because it's quicker. It seems quicker and easier for me. And also when you get that quad of eyeshadows, then there's always that one that you don't really know what to do with, which is really dark. I just started utilizing a lot of the blacks, dark browns, those kinds of colors. And I just use a little pointy skinny brush and just put that line on the top. I do put it on my top lid.
Oh, I like a pencil because, like I said, I do the mascara first and I just take that pencil and run it under the eyelids. And then the other thing, I just bought this and I'm kind of obsessed with it, is Grande Lash. I'm using a lash serum. I've been using lash serums, these two know, for over a year. And it really does work on my lashes. So I got their eyeliner. It's liquid eyeliner. It has that lash serum in it. Seriously, you can lay that inside, and I know it's a liquid liner, but it's like just enough that it runs the lashes. It's awesome. And then I have liquid liner if I want to put a touch on the corners or whatever, but it has that lash serum peptide in it and I love it.
I heard yesterday, I heard Lancome talking about they have a mascara that has a primer in it.
I use primer too, and I curl my lashes old fashioned style with a curler and like let it sit back there for like 30 seconds. And then I put my primer on because you can't see my blonde eyelashes. They need help. But you know, a trick to making your own primer is do one coat of mascara and then put a little bit of loose powder on your lashes and then do another coat. It thickens them naturally.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So if you don't want to get another primer, that's an easy trick.
Try that.
Another trick too with lashes, or this is what I do. My lashes are very straight, and I take my blow dryer and I use an eyelash curler because my lashes are so straight, but I use my blow dryer to warm it up first. I blow it on the eyelash curler, make sure it's not too hot, and then I curl my lashes, and then I put the mascara on. So it's like a little curling iron for your lashes because it's warm.
So lash stamping is a thing, actually. We're launching a new mascara, and that is like one of the trends where you stamp it, pull it. So
pull it through.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, you take the base of the wand and you lay it into the lash line for a few seconds and stamp like an eyeliner.
Oh.
And then pull.
Okay.
It's called lash stamping.
Lash stamping. I like it.
And then like curlers, I think is personal preference. Like I notice a difference right away, but I use a curler every day.
Yeah, I do too.
I did it today.
Yeah.
And I have like 2 coats of mascara on.
I do too.
So once you get the eyes set, one of my favorite products, I learned this tip actually from someone I spent time with as we were preparing, and I never did my concealer this way under the eyes until she told me about it, and it made sense. So normally I love the Bobbi Brown corrector. Love it. I don't know what it is, but it is not a concealer, but I use it in a V shape. So you start at the top of the cheekbone and you make a V. And the reason you do that is you want to start at the V is so that you have most of the product on the top of the cheekbone, which creates a highlight. But as you move up, then it doesn't settle under the eye area. And I was like, oh, aren't you smart? So I really love that. And then because I think like the inner corner, you can always add a little touch of brightness at the end.
I like doing that.
Yeah. So I always finish with more concealer. And I have a deep set eye, so I naturally have deeper bones and deeper shadowing, but it works on any eye shape.
The highlighting on
that
the inner
corrector from Bobbi Brown, I'm telling you, a friend recommended to me and he was like, girl, you need to get this. And I was like, really? Are you sure? It to me, I don't even need concealer in my eye if I have that corrector. And I used to have to wear a lot of concealer because again, I naturally have shadowing just because of the way it won't go away. It's just the way my eyes are.
Is the corrector like for blue or red? Or
no, there's different shades. Yeah. I'm like warm bisque, but it goes by skin tone. And I tried to wear, I wanted to be like, oh, I want peach. And it looked horrible under my eye. So warm bisque, I've bought it 4 times.
Really?
Yeah. And then now they have like a one that looks like a lipstick. You roll it up and it's a lighter formula. I still like the original pot for some reason. So I have both. But that V technique, because you'll see on TikTok, like under the eye is a big deal. Like it's all, if it's like the finishing touches. So they have like the old school swipe it under, like cover your whole eye area. Or what most people do is they do a little on the outside and a little in the corner, and then they swish them together. So it's like light and bright on the corner. So I think the V to me made sense for what she was describing. And I love a natural looking highlight without using a highlighter. So that corrector is like perfect because most of the color sits on top of the cheekbone. So I love that tip.
It's a good one.
And then bronzer is like my best friend. Bronzer is my best friend.
On the daily.
On the daily.
Seattle or not, you need a bronzer.
You do. It will change your life.
Life changing. You just need to get the right tone. If it's too orangey, and you can, it's not the right one.
I'm sorry, but I am going to plug Bronze Goddess by Estee Lauder. It is the best as far as tone, all of that. Bronze Goddess.
Bobbi Brown actually has really great bronzers too. Yeah. But I use the Estee Lauder one too because I feel like it's like effortless. Like the shades are like that perfect balance of sunshine in your pocket.
Yep.
And it controls my oil a little bit. It comes with a brush. Which most brands don't, but the brush like fits perfectly in the contours of your face, and it softly defines your features.
What I noticed with the Bronze Goddess, I tried this Clinique. They're all great. If you use them, they're great. But for me, the others that I tried, there would be oopsie moments. I'm like, whoa, and then you got to try to even it out and blend it and do all this. Never have to do that ever with the Bronze Goddess.
Are you medium deep or medium?
Medium.
Yeah, I use medium too. Yeah, and sometimes I've used medium deep, like, because remember, I'm self-tanning on top of that.
Can you tell we're passionate about these things,
Julie? I love it. If I was going to go out with, like, today I have really, like, barely any foundation. You can probably see I have a freckle on my cheek that I don't like people to see, but then I do bronzer, so it still looks like I have, like, a little bit of color, and then pop it in the crease, and I always do under my jawline, so it gives kind of like a soft contour.
And if I'm just running around, whatever, just bronzer, don't really need anything else. Like the soft eye, like you were talking about, that's like the 10-minute face. The foundation, the soft eye, a bronzer, you're good to go. A little lip gloss. Let's go to the grocery store. If we run into anybody, I'm not going to be too embarrassed, right?
I always run into someone, and it always. So like, and someone always is going to say something because they know we're in the industry. They'll be like, oh, what are you wearing today?
Yeah.
Oh, your skin looks good. Or so I've been trained like that because most people will ask, oh, what lipstick you have on, what somebody will.
Yeah.
It's just from coming, I think from us being in the industry, like we have it on. And you know, I'm a big workout buff. So like I do have some friends that I've met and we've connected through makeup, and I love it when I lift. And I met this lifter that's like a world champion. I sent her a bunch of lipsticks and she did a post, lift like a lady.
Ooh.
And she,
like
we
that.
had so many people. She doesn't wear any makeup. She's the cutest thing and so strong. She wore a lipstick and was lifting this heavy set. And all these ladies were like, oh, I'm going to wear lipstick. Yeah.
I love
and
it.
so it was just kind of empowering,
Yeah.
but it was like, it was great for me. Like, I like a slightly finished face. I feel like I'm bringing my best self and I feel confident.
And to add to that, like that's the 10-minute, like we were talking about face. So if you're going to work, something for every day, family gathering, whatever, then you can add some blush on top of that, a little bit of a highlighter. That's what I use, and something with a little more color in your lips. And then you can add on to that. If you're going to go to a happy hour with your girlfriends or something after work, then you can add a little bit more even onto that. And, that's like the full face, add a little smokiness to the eye, whatever it might be. So a lot of different looks you can build on top of each other.
Can I give you a couple of cheek trends? So I've seen a couple of things out there. Like I'm not a big blush wearer. I'm a contour girl. So I like the contour. But what has been popping in blush is this whole like sunburn look. And so using a cheek stain, and they do it like a W. It goes across the cheeks and then a little bridge on the nose and then across the other cheek. I've seen my girls do this. They do it in a couple, like 2 or 3 dots of the cheek, a dot on the nose, and then 2 on the other. And they usually blend that out, and then they put a little bit of powder or they tone it down with their beauty blender. But the trend is like the sunburn look.
Interesting.
The other thing you can do is, if you aren't a big blush wearer, you can mix your lipstick with that amazing primer that Michelle was sharing. It's called Watery Glow Primer from Estee Lauder, and it makes like a cream blush, and you can apply it with your finger. So you can mix any blush.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
idea,
The other
yeah.
thing you can do is, if you want to tone down and have your blush look kind of a little softer, you can take your lipstick, mix it with your concealer. That way it'll be in the same undertone, and apply it to your cheeks. It'll just be a little bit softer.
Yeah.
So easy finishing touches. You can also take your night repair and mix it with your highlighter, and it'll give you this beautiful glow, especially as we age. Highlighter can settle and look fake.
Cakey.
So this way, if you mix it with that advanced night repair, it looks like this beautiful glow. Like Julie was saying, make her skin look like it has some radiance. So you can do that with your highlighter.
Okay.
So you have a little more control.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All these beautiful, tips, tricks, and trends. I think we've covered a lot of ground. Don't
We
you think?
have.
Yeah.
A lot of ground.
And oh my gosh, Eileen, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming and sharing your expertise with us.
Oh my gosh, my favorite thing, and nothing better than to get some of this stuff on people. So don't be afraid to reach out if you have comments or questions, or you need somebody to help guide you. Like, we're here for you.
Yep,
Like,
absolutely.
we're always talking about this stuff and laughing.
A
Take it
blonde, a
seriously,
brunette, and a
talk
mic
about
at
this.
gmail.com. Send us an email.
A blonde, a brunette, and a mic at Gmail.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, or
Yeah. Instagram.
shoot some DMs back to you.
Facebook, TikTok.
Might tag you in a story. Careful.
Oh, watch out.
Well, I think that our listeners have probably gotten a lot out of this. And I will venture a guess we're going to hear a lot
I
for
think so.
questions and things that
Yeah.
you guys are going to need to answer. So
I love it.
Anyway, well, until next time, I will say goodnight or goodbye.
Stay beautiful, everybody.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for having me.